Let's step back in time. For over 12 centuries, the ancient city of Bhubaneswar was a thriving center of spiritual life in eastern India. The city's founders engineered an integrated climate system directly into this stone landscape, threading sacred groves and water tanks through the urban fabric to survive the punishing heat. The layout was mathematically precise. The city aligned its streets with prevailing southwesterly breezes and built deep, stone-walled tanks called pokaris, like this one, to capture monsoon rain and continuously recharge the underlying aquifer. Civilization survived and flourished here because ecological balance was built directly into the city's physical blueprint. Environmental harmony was the foundation itself. Then, in the space of a single generation, that ancient system was dismantled. Around the year 2000, Bhubaneswar entered a period of explosive urban expansion. Satellite data reveals a stark imbalance. The dense vegetation canopy collapsed by 89%, while impervious concrete expanded by 83%. This relies on strict digital accountability. Every tree gets a geotagged QR code and is logged onto a publicly auditable blockchain ledger to guarantee its survival. To fix the chronic urban flooding, Bhubaneswara's infrastructure will be completely retrofitted to act like a giant sponge, taking advantage of the region's naturally porous laterite soil to absorb and filter rainwater. As detailed in this list of commitments, the water reboot requires completely de-encroaching the Gangwa River and restoring functional hydrology to 100% of the city's historic temple tanks, like Bindu Sagar. It also legally requires new construction to harvest its rainwater. By reconnecting water systems and the urban forest, the city stops acting as an impermeable block and begins functioning as a living, breathing watershed once again. The doctrine tackles extreme heat directly, requiring high-albedo, heat-reflecting roofs on all large buildings and double-row native tree canopies planted along all major arterial roads to drop peak surface temperatures by up to 5 degrees. To close the loop on resource management, targets include 90% source-segregated recycling, eliminating landfill waste entirely, and 30% decentralized solar power. The data shows these targets are highly viable. Every element of this doctrine has already been demonstrated at scale. For instance, Singapore successfully implemented vertical greening and water-sensitive design in a tropical climate, with significantly more rainfall than Bhubaneswar. In Brazil, the city of Curitiba proved that integrated transit and green corridors successfully manage urban sprawl, doing so on a developing world budget. In Medellin, Colombia, targeted infrastructure investments and specific ecological pinch points, a strategy known as urban acupuncture, successfully reduced extreme heat while improving neighborhood access. Bhubaneswar does not need to import a foreign blueprint to fix its climate crisis. It only needs to apply these modern, proven engineering tools to successfully restore the harmony of its own ancient architectural logic. The most powerful aspect of the Ekrama Rising Doctrine is its legal architecture. Implementing these commitments requires 0 new constitutional amendments or primary legislation. Looking at this legal breakdown, the framework relies entirely on existing law. Under Article 21, the right to life, and Article 48A of the Indian Constitution, a clean environment and adequate green space are already established as non-derogable human rights. This gives every resident legal standing. Any citizen can go to court and compel the government to meet these targets, transforming environmental restoration from a distant policy goal into an immediate, enforceable civic obligation. The doctrine formalizes this civic responsibility through the One Citizen, One Tree mission, asking residents to become the registered guardians of the city's living systems, a commitment outlined here in the Ekrama Pledge. True climate sovereignty requires an alignment of science, law, and civilizational memory. Restoring the Earth is a binding repayment schedule owed directly to the generations not yet born.